Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Get Lifted 30 is a New 20. It's your boy, SmileyJizzle, and my co host, Lahefa, will be here shortly. Um, I just want to start by saying I like to apologize to everybody for, uh, for not being present. Last Sunday, we had a family emergency. So we had to step away for a little bit, um, to take care of that that situation or whatever. But we back. Um, Before we start today's episode, I just like to say something. I like to say, a lot of times we as people in general, we take a lot of things for granted, and time is one of the biggest things that we take for granted because we don't have enough. You know what I mean? But we wish we did, but we don't. So it's always best for us as people. I take my own advice. You know what I mean? It's just always best for us as people to um to take advantage of our time while we have it. Just like when I was in the military, I used to always be like, yo, um, you know what I mean? Like, man, I remember I used to be able to go to the store whenever I wanted to. I used to be able to go do this whenever I wanted to. I could go play basketball whenever I wanted to. And some days I would just stay in the house. I wouldn't go nowhere. Now I can't go nowhere unless they tell me they give me permission to do it. So it's like, we always take things for granted um in life that we shouldn't take for granted. We should really be appreciative of the freedoms that we do have and the advantages that we do have that we don't take advantage of. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to sound like a old lecturing ass person. You know what I mean? Trying to tell you young people to be like, you young whippersnappers need to get yourself together because you never know when time runs out. You know. But nah, it's some reality shit. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Like you know, people run into these barriers and shit in life. And when we run into these barriers, we don't really realize we should have took advantage of a lot of shit before we got to this point, but we just don't. You know what I mean? So it's just important that we do things that we're supposed to do. Matter of fact, I just got the renewal for my pistol permit. You know what I mean? And like a lot of bills or whatever you get in the mail, you be like reluctant to do it. Well, I'm not reluctant to renew that shit because of all the shit that's going on in the world right now. Hell no, I'm not gonna be late renewing that. You feel me? So I just gotta be sharp and be on point. So as soon as I got that shit, boom, and you could renew it online, but I ain't gotta go waiting online or schedule no appointment. Man, I took that paperwork and went on to the website and sent whatever I needed to send, and I'm good. Now I just gotta wait, pay my little fee, and I mean I'm Gucci. So there's one thing that I do like about technology and about the future right now is that you don't have to wait to get things done. You could be at home and be like, you know what? Let me get this done. You don't gotta be like, Dad, the weather mad fucked up right now. I can't go nowhere. You could just go on your phone and do whatever you need to do, despite the weather and all that shit. So that's a plus. That's a good thing. Um, so welcome everybody that's pulling up. Appreciate you, man. Like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know that y'all here. Um, Today we're gonna be talking about a few topics. I'm about to I'm about to dive in real quick right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend, share, 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 share. All right, so today we're gonna talk about U.S. and Israel versus Iran. Where does this conflict leave Americans? I've been watching a few episodes of Piers Morgan, some debates and some discussions about this. And if you got a TV or you got a phone, it's everywhere. There's no way to avoid what's going on right now between Iran and U.S. and Israel. It's a lot of stuff that's spilling over because of this. And then we're gonna talk about 50 Cent versus the Harris family and his response. You know what I mean? This has been going on for pretty much um, all of March, but this actually didn't just start. This beef actually happened, believe it or not, probably like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So we gonna tap in on that, talk more about that shit and how it's developing. Benzino had a female disaster. We wanted to talk about that. What's good, Razik? What's good? What's good? Um, Benzino had a little issue. Apparently his BM hit him with his car. My sister knows a little bit more about that situation. We're gonna tap in on that. That's kind of crazy. Um, BAFTA turret outburst. Um, I'm sorry, Tourette. I'm sorry. The BAFTA Tourette outburst, and we're gonna talk about what happened with that person. That person blurted out the N word in front of all those people at that, and how they addressed it at the NAACP awards. And yeah, that's what we about to talk about today, and some other shit we gonna tap into. But and my sister probably gonna chime in on this. So let's just get to it. The showrunner, U.S. and Israel and Iran. So I see Trump is a lunatic. I see that. So look, let me ask y'all a question, right? Because this is near and dear to my heart when we talk about stuff like this. So would you guys prefer our country to not get involved in any situation with any of our allies involved in the situation? Like, not like, just forget about Trump for a second. Like, if we got into some shit, or one of our allies got into some shit, would you prefer the country just mind their business? Like, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Like, you know what I mean? Let nature take its course or whatever. We got problems to worry about here. Or would you prefer we protect our allies because there's resources that they have that that we need? So we can't just ignore, this situation. Like, tell me about it. Talk to me about it. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like we should just mind our business, or do you feel like we should help our allies? You know what I mean? When they beef, like, no fair ones. You know what I mean? Because I have my take on it, but I want to see what I want to kind of tap into what other people think, because there's a logical explanation for everything, especially when it comes to conflicts. Like, when you're having a conflict with another country, it's a big thing that um that it's a good reason behind it. Like, we're not just jumping into bed, with a conflict, and we're looking to see if it's necessary for us to intervene. Because I'll tell you this, like, let's look at it with, like, allies, family. Family is like, you guys are related, right? So we can't say other countries, but let's say Puerto Rico as a commonwealth, right? Because I know we got some Spanish people that rock with Trump. You know what I mean? Now let's just say Puerto Rico got into something. right? Somebody else trying to take. Let's just say Venezuela try to nab Puerto Rico, and we, for that reason, and this is hypothetical, completely hypothetical. We, for that reason, decided we're gonna get involved because Puerto Rico, that's our commonwealth. Like, we're not gonna let them get into no shit. You know what I mean? We just worried about, whatever. And yeah, at the expense, this other country got some issues, but we get a lot of resources, or we can get a lot of resources from Puerto Rico, and it's in our best interest to protect them. You know what I mean? As a commonwealth of the United States. How do you guys feel about that? Like, is that a different situation than helping out one of your allies? Not this particular situation, because this particular situation there might be some, some speculation that this is an unnecessary endeavor. But if it was an ally and there was a necessary endeavor, would it feel better for us to be in a conflict? Because then how do you, because you want to avoid a conflict altogether, but what if these things just happen because everybody doesn't think the same way. There's always a disagreement. Like, say for instance, US was one of those countries that just like mind their business and they didn't do anything, knowing that they have the ability to do something, they have the ability to stop things from escalating or whatever, and they just decided, I'm not gonna intervene in this right now because we got other things to worry about, and then the unthinkable happens. You know what I mean? They just start letting stuff go off. They doing what they want to do, and we was like, well, we ain't gonna mess with them because that's not our business. But once they feel like they could press that red button and they could start just doing whatever, then it's the end. It's the end of the earth. You know what I mean? I'll tell you this. I know people don't be wanting their kids to leave to go fight for nothing. You know what I mean? They want them to come home. Shit, if you got a kid that's a boxer, you probably be afraid for them to go have a fucking Golden Gloves tournament match or some shit. Listen, what I'm saying is there's times where you got to go do something and you just can't walk away from it. And what's the difference if you run in a country, you run in a business, you run in a family? There's things that you just can't run away from. So sometimes you gotta step up and you gotta handle shit. But it's just, it's different because it's him. It wasn't different if Obama was doing it. It wasn't different if somebody that you want to be doing it is doing it. It's just the person that's doing it is not the person that you want to be doing it. But in some cases, there calls for, you know, extenuating circumstances, as they say. And it could be because a lot of the shit that be going on, could possibly be coming from over there. But I just don't like when we see on the news, you know, they show us images of children in schools, and you know what I mean? And and I know this better than anybody. Well, some of my soldiers could attest to this. Um, Collateral damage and all of these things happen when you out there. There's situations where people might have a kid in a stroller with a bomb underneath it. Now you got to navigate through this situations because you want to get home back to your family in America. And then you like, damn, what the hell we doing over here? But then you see how many people are hurt and how many people you can actually help. How many people you can actually say, we don't got nobody from Australia coming to fight over there. You know what I mean? In some conflicts, yeah, we do have other allies that's assisting us in these conflicts, but a lot of times it's some people from Washington, from New York, from Tennessee, from Texas, from North Dakota, from all different places, and they all meeting at the same place to fight this situation. So we we're using up all of our people to fight something that doesn't have anything to do with us, but we're doing more good sometimes in the situations than bad. But people don't look at it like that. It's like, yo, why you in a business? Why you over there? Why you, and some of these people are very grateful that the soldiers are there. We give them, pencils and coloring books, and the kids, what I mean, and sometimes we give them a couple dollars, what I mean, and it goes a long way. These general acts of kindness to the local people. So now, soldiers are people too, and they have a heart. So you can't just think that soldiers, like, yeah, when these people are bombing, they're meticulously targeting certain areas that have artillery, but in those areas that have artillery, there is collateral damage because there's people surrounding those areas. But you can't just automatically just get that spot. But they're firing from those points that have those people there. So what do? And you see the pilot dodging them. The pilots are beasts, yo, in those F-12s or whatever they are. But those pilots are beasts, yo, and they like dodging them and twirling around in the sky and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's crazy. And sometimes I'd be thinking they just want to use those shits. I know when we was over there, we didn't have certain rifles. So somebody complained to Congress, and they ended up giving us all M4s. All of us got M4s and shit with scopes and everything. So I was so soup, yo, because I was like, oh shit, we got the Call of Duty shits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was a soldier and I felt like a kid, like, you know what I mean? Because there's certain things that comes with having better equipment, and it's the performance. Sometimes you get a better performance out of it, and the accuracy is a little bit less, but trust me, man, not having to hit no charging handle and all this other shit, like just being able to just it makes shit so much easier. But yeah, the single bolt action, like, come on, man. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Semi burst. Fuck out of here. Nah. But yeah, man. The going question though, where does this leave Americans in this conflict though? It leaves us in a place where we constantly have to defend ourselves in conversations because we're looked at as the bad people. We're not making these decisions. And you always have to think when you're doing something for someone else, your intentions are always questioned. So here's another way to look at it. People are having a situation in your family, and you know what? They don't want you involved in it. Mind your fucking business, right? But they know, like, you need help. You might not want to ask for help, but you need it. And then you go ahead and you do it for them. And they mad as fuck that you did it. But you did it. And deep down inside, they like, I'm happy they did it, but damn, I wish they would have let me work this out myself. Well, you was taking too long, you know what I mean? But that's not always good, but sometimes it works out. So sometimes you making a risk. It's good for you to get things done when you get them done instead of waiting. You know what I mean? And sometimes you gotta let people go with things the way they want to go with it. Now, you making a moral decision about somebody else's life if they want to do something or they won't want to do it, and they're hesitant to do it for whatever reason, then that's different. But when it's something that you're dealing with livelihood or survival, you know what I mean, or somebody like, you got 2 days to do this or you're gonna be fucked, and somebody's like, all right, well, I'm making an executive decision. You just got to know when it's right to make an executive decision. But yeah, man, definitely, man, definitely, man. A lot of people feel like Trump is a lunatic, though. Like, let's expound on that. Why is Trump a lunatic? I said that Trump was a narcissist. One of my friends doesn't agree. He's like, "How you gonna say that?" Like, I don't know. I feel like he is. um, he he exhibits certain behaviors, but because he's at the highest level, you don't want to say that. There Now we were joking the other day about autistic people, not in a joking way to be shunned upon, but in a joking way where we were saying like Trump might be autistic, and some people was like, "Yo, this nigga crazy," but I'm like, "Yeah, like just hear me out for a second. There's situations where you can be on the spectrum, right? But you can still perform at a high levels, perform high functions. So he could be one of those individuals who's just very smart in a particular area, like a savant. So he may be like a savant for business, but he suffers from autism in other areas. You know what I mean? I know it sound funny, but like I feel like that shit could be true, man. Our president our president could be autistic, bro. Like that's wild. Shout out to the people that's pulling up, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. Tell people to pull up, man. We about to dive deep, man. Right now we talking about politics shit, but we gonna get into some other shit. Where does U.S. and Israel's conflict leave Americans right now? Where does U.S. and Israel conflict leave Americans right now? Where does it leave us? What's the position that we're in? What scrutiny do we have worldwide right now because of this shit? Because of our involvement? Shit, man. Let's pivot for a second. Let me ask y'all a question. I hope somebody answer me. And I got a question for you. So, do you trust do you trust the decision that your government makes for you? Do you trust, probably not the majority of them, but do you at least trust a few of the decisions that the American government makes for you in society? Put a one in the chat if you do. Put a two in the chat if you don't. Two is you don't trust the decisions that the government makes for you, and one if you do trust the decisions that the government makes for you in America. I'll say this: I don't trust anybody 100% making decisions for me, but I appreciate the freedom that you have in America to decide what you want to do or what you don't want to do. But see, the thing about it is like the freedoms that they give people, people misuse those freedoms. So they don't really know what to do with, okay, you can have you can delete your child, right? And that's on you. You know what I mean? You can go to the hospital, do it the proper way or whatever. But your but because it's your body, your choice or whatever, the dude don't have no say in the matter or whatever. But then the government intervenes because there's some people that feel like, yeah, but some people doing that shit crazy. You know what I mean? Some people is going to get it done, and they done the baby done been in their stomach for 8 months. They having cold feet now. You know what I mean? The baby almost here. You know what I mean? Or they just doing it for whatever. Now, if you're doing it for, because I'm really like one of those people where it's like it's up to the couple. You know what I mean? And I feel like if the couple as a whole decides it's best for them, and what I mean by the couple is like the guy firmly understands that it could be a high risk for her to deliver this child. But he's gonna take care of this child no matter what. Whatever happens, he gonna be there. So if the dude understands that and the woman's okay with that, then yeah, then y'all decide to continue to have it. If the dude don't want to have it and the woman's body is fine and the doctor says it's okay for her to do whatever she want to do with the child, then she can decide if she wants to keep it or she doesn't. But I'm saying couple, as the dude, y'all together, he don't want it. Well, here's the thing. Think about birth control. Think about something that y'all could do. If you really respect her, think about doing something that's going to prevent a situation like this happening, because it's harder for her to deal with it when it happens than it is to be proactive before it actually happens. So, if you're not wearing a condom and you just trying to pull out, and sometimes you forget and y'all not getting morning after pill, or even you relying on morning after pills to do it, you're being careless. You're being careless as a dude, because even though, yeah, it is her responsibility because it's her body, her choice. But if you really care about her, and like I said, it should be decided as a couple, the only way that can work is that the dude really truly respects her. You know what I mean? And really cares about what's in the best interest of them as a couple. Do y'all want to have a family? Are you being intentional? Are you going with whatever works? Like what's going on? You know what I mean? Because if you're really serious about the outcome of the situation, then you probably want her to have the child. You know what I mean? And even if she doesn't make it, you still want to have the child and give the child a chance at life, because you really value that woman enough to really care about, this is what she would want. And she wants a legacy with me and her that's gonna live forever. And there's nothing better than a child. Yeah, y'all can open a fucking coffee shop together, but it's nothing better than having a child with a woman. That's the biggest embrace. But let's talk about how hard it is to raise a child with some of these women today. It's difficult. You know what I mean? It's extremely difficult. You know what I mean? Let's move into Benzino's situation. Like, yeah, imagine you raising a child and you end up getting almost ran over by the baby mother. Like, that's crazy. Like, how does that happen? Like the whole Benzino situation, to me, sometimes like some of the stuff that they be talking about online, it be like a lot of drama. You know what I mean? I really don't think some of it really be serious. I just think that they make all this drama so people could just be, just be on their heels about the situation. But I think a lot of times this should be done. All right, some ratchet girl talking about it. I want to go to the actual joint. Man. I'm gonna have to find it on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it. All right, so here's the clip. I'm gonna speed it up before I play it, so we don't get no little copyright Joe. I think that should be fast enough.
Talia and Diamond clear the air after Benzino accused them of hitting him with the car. She can go into that or not. She wants that's on her. Okay. I sat in the car with my 1-year-old in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? As she walked to go check on her child, give him a hug, X, Y, and Z. And I think at some point bring him back to the car to where we were because the police were by the car. Then I hear. Well, I'm gonna say I hear. By this time, she has made it inside of the car and she's talking to him, checking on him. And at this point, I'm in the driver's seat. My baby's over here in the back seat. He comes to the car running. You stupid, going crazy. Police out there and everything now, right? Comes to the car. My baby, I think my window was half cracked, so my car is already in drive because at this point we finna probably pull around the corner, whatever the case. He's swinging. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to open my car door from the. I don't know what he's trying to do. All I know is my car is already in drive, and you're trying to put your hand inside the window to where my baby is, so it drove the car. Now, if you was holding onto my car and you happen to skin your knee or whatever happened, I don't know. But we have body cam footage that we can access. We have footage from the condos, all the condos that were surrounding the area that can show that nobody hit you with a motherfucking car. Now, again, I'm just being here for a friend. I am a good friend. Althea has been a good friend to me as well. I wasn't even in here taking sides. But what you're not going to do is go to the motherfucking live sites and lie and say, I hit you with a car. If I hit you and struck you with a car, I would be in jail right now. So either, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're trying to get back on Love and Hip Hop. I don't know what the is going on. All I know is people blowing my phone up, sending me a picture with your no neck, laying with a brace on your neck, talking about I struck you with my new car. And then how you even know my car new? Like, it's weird. So I came on here to clear my name up because nobody hit you with no motherfucking car. You're weird. That ain't got shit to do with me. I was bringing my friend to come check on her son and do a wellness check on her son. Yes, she has primary custody. She has paperwork to prove that. That's why when we got to the scene, she called the police, told them I'm checking on my son, provided paperwork, X, Y, and Z. Now, all of a sudden, you're in the hospital with a brace on your neck. When the doctor records come back, I'm sure it's going to show that you did not get hit by a car. And now I'm going to call my lawyer that's heavily on retainer, just in case this shit go left, because what you're not going to do is try to play these lame games with me. Althea, do you want to say something real quick? DD, Althea, do you want to address the people? And I'm sorry I didn't clean up my house because I didn't spit company today. But I just basically told them what happened and that you do have primary custody. I have primary custody, okay? I have primary custody, but he wants to keep him away from his mother because he doesn't want to go to jail for not paying child support. End of story. End of story. End of story. End of story. And as being a mother who keeps allowing him to be in his life, this man wanted to get hit by a car. This man wanted to get hit by a car. He wants to go to the hospital and call Tasha K with a neck brace on. Okay? Only somebody psychotic would do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Only somebody crazy would do all of that. I don't even be on the blog, but I stay in the blog behind his.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
So that's it, folks. Like, this is crazy. Powder. He definitely on. Like, that's the first thing you do is call, like, imagine being laid up with a fake. So guess what? Because he did all of that, he now has child protective services involved. Because he goes to that extreme. That he got. And then guess what? They will see, like I told you, once they see the body cam footage from the officers that were on scene, and once I have my lawyer to get all the footage from all the. I hate when people want to back like I'm the problem. I want to be in blogs. I ain't got to be in no blogs. I ain't got to be in nothing. I ain't got to be on TV. I got to be in. Can I say something? This is up. It is. It's up. It is. It's up. Yes. You crazy. Why would you call the blog site and say I hit you with a car? Tasha K been trying to get interviews with me. Maybe I should do an interview, but who wants to keep talking about some foolery? I don't want to do an interview talking about some foolery. He can't wait to call Tasha K. I'm gonna hit Cardi. He can't wait to call people. I need your lawyers. I'm gonna sue his no nigga. You're not gonna say I hit you with no goddamn car. Like, that's crazy. If you want to be back on Love and Hip Hop, just say that. I probably can make a phone call for you. I'm just saying. Crazy. But that's what happened. Everybody that's reached out that was concerned, you know what I'm saying? That's what happened. And again, like you said, I don't even be on the blog sites, but I will respond if someone speaks on my name and give incorrect information. So that's T. That's T. Clock it. That's what happened. So, you need your done. Alrighty. And I'm about to go get back. So, love you guys.
Alright, so that's a prime example of why I feel like before you have a child with somebody, make sure, one, you having a child with the right person, and two, that person is not like that. You know what I mean? Like, out to get you, out to mess up your name. Things go left. That person shouldn't be your enemy. If y'all got a kid together, y'all should still be 100 with each other. Y'all should still be cool. But it don't be working like that. It be different. You know what I mean? But Benzino got his dilemma right now. baby mama drama. You know, that right there is crazy. What Benzino dealing with right now. What Benzino dealing with is a whole nother world of craziness. It's a bugged out situation that he's dealing with. You know what I mean? But one way that I could look at it is we haven't heard a lot from Benzino. So it's only right that we hear some crazy shit from him for him to get back on the scene. Yo, speaking of like getting hit by shit, so I went to the hospital to visit a family member, and I'm going into the hospital. The revolving door for the hospital entrance was like stuck at a door type shit. So I'm like back up, and it's like come forward. So I come forward, push the door. It's going forward because I'm pushing it. The shit forces itself back and smashes into my knee, and then goes back forward again. I'm like, what the heck? Now, mind you, it's all caught on camera. Shit, I might have a damn lawsuit on my hands, yo, like Benzino, man. I was right at the hospital. I should have walked to the other side and went to the ambulance. The lady at the front desk was like, you should go to the ambulance or whatever. You know, the cameras in here catch everything. So I was like, yeah, you're right. I'll be like that though. I got integrity, so I don't be wanting to do no grimy shit. Dwight Howard baby mom's wilding too. Wow. So what they talking about? Let's hear what this.
Royce Reed speaks out after Dwight Howard's wife Amy discussed their marital issues.
But my marriage has landed me in a very dangerous position. My stepdaughter was detained by CPS because of her father.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Until you do right by me.
Why so stupid?
It's always been about the kids. It's always been about the kids. Now you want to speak? I'm still blocked, so I can't see what you're saying. But now you want to speak because he brought you into it? Girl, it's everybody else's fault? Wow. So you just don't think any of us fell for the antics either, right? None of us fell for the narcissism. Are you crazy, Amy? Amber? What is it? Like, are you serious right now? You called me crazy, right? You said I was jealous. You said I wanted him. When it's always been about the damn kids. And now you want to sit here and cry and sit here and be like, it's because of what everybody else did to him. No, it's because of what he does to people. Shit, I was just first. I was collateral damage. Let's call Royce crazy. And people will believe it because I'm baby Jesus. Girl, shut up. He leaves in the middle of them playing a game outside that he said he was going to play with them. I am the one who sat there and invited him to senior night. Didn't show up. I invited him to our son's 18th birthday celebration. Why did I do that, y'all? Because at the end of the day, I wanted to never have any regret coming from Braylon. I never wanted him to resent me. So even if Braylon acted like he didn't care if he came or not, I know how a child is. And I knew that it would mean something if he showed up. Especially I heard that he didn't show up for senior night. So he came and he stayed for 30 minutes. Not even, they played Uno. Y'all, I got a whole video of us singing happy birthday and people going around and saying stuff about, our son and like giving him words of encouragement. I go, Dad, anything to say? What? I wrote him a note. Y'all, if I showed you the note, it's on one of them little dollar store little notepad things that he hand wrote, and it's grammatically incorrect. And it's pointing a finger at me. How is that a birthday message? When you're sitting here pointing the finger at me, no matter what people say, no matter what you've been told, just I love you, happy birthday. No, didn't just do that. Always taking shots. Girl, you are not the first one who was falling for the okie doke. Just like he told you that video of him talking about what happens in his bed with AI. That ain't AI. But y'all just want to sit there and believe it. You know that wasn't AI. You sit here and you believe what you want to believe because it served you. It was never about the kids. You are saving face. You don't want to go down with him. So now you're speaking out and saying, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Yes, you do. Because you're sitting here, oh, these are my stepkids. I'm his wife. Then why are you going overseas and leaving these children by themselves in a big house? And no, let's not sit here and say, oh, there was someone always there. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And you know it wasn't. And also, don't sit here and be talking shit like, I know you talk to Royce, Tiffany. You damn right she talked to me. I'm that friend. I talk that. That's me. Yeah, I'm that person. I'm a talk. So, as I pull into my driveway, just letting y'all know, do not fall for it. Do I feel bad for her? I wouldn't say that I feel bad for her. I do not have any type of I don't have any sympathy. I don't have any empathy. And the reason I say that is because we tried to tell you. And we tried to tell you because we were trying to save our kids.
All right, so
we were trying to save our children, and you
I'm not
knew that.
I'm not gonna really play the whole thing because
That's the part I can't get with.
But I wanted to play that as context because I'm gonna play something from Poetic Flacco where he's expounding a little bit more on the Dwight Howard allegation situation.
These new Dwight Howard allegations are very disturbing.
To know me, you know I am so prideful and so private. It hurt me so bad to have to even protect myself in this type of way.
That's Dwight Howard's wife, Amy, and she released that video about 30 minutes ago. She proceeds to go in on Dwight Howard and exposes him. Now, she will list out her reasoning for why she's exposing Dwight Howard at this moment. She will say, I can admit it right now, I feel ashamed. I cringe when I see couples take their issues to the internet, but I was humbled with understanding because now look what I have to do to protect myself. My husband put himself in a position that resulted in CPS being called to our house 3 times in less than 2 months. But 3 days ago, they were called again and they left with our daughter. I have personally had to call the police on him 3 times in barely 14 months marriage. Everyone around me told me you made a commitment through sickness or health, and that played with my mind after I filed for divorce at 6 months. I came back because honestly, I tried to listen to the married people around me who said it was too soon to walk away. But now, what I've gotten myself into, my stepson is only 12 years old. When CPS and police came to take our daughter, my husband needed an alibi to collaborate a lie. I told him I wanted no parts. In return, he coached my stepson to lie. I recorded me talking to my stepson. You can hear him replying to me, telling him, I know daddy made you lie on me to police. You hear him replying, feeling guilty for following daddy's rule. You will hear me tell my stepson, I still love you, and he replies, I love you too. My stepchildren love me. I could say so much about the pain I've personally endured, but it's about these children. I am deeply heartbroken right now to have to advocate for minors' voices and in return lose a marriage that I was so happy to be in. She then proceeds to get into this very vague story where she accuses Dwight Howard of doing things to his kids. Doing things to his kids that lead CPS to keep coming to the house multiple times. Now, every time CPS comes to the house, she will say that, she covers up for Dwight. She covers up for Dwight. She covers up for Dwight. And she talks about the struggle of covering up for Dwight Howard, right? Because she doesn't know if she's doing the right thing or not. And she wants to advocate for the kids, but she don't want to turn on her husband. This is very concerning, all right? Now, again, it starts off very vague. She would say that she covered up for her husband until today when Dwight Howard apparently threw her under the bus. So apparently CPS came to the home to investigate something regarding the daughter. And while they were investigating, Dwight Howard, according to her, coached his son to lie to CPS and put the blame on her.
But my marriage has landed me in a very dangerous position. My stepdaughter was taken by CPS because of her father. CPS and the police have been here 3 times in less than 3 months, and I stood in it with my husband.